late summer, and the pontoons are again filling up and waking up at the yacht club Costa Smeralda. Another frantic fortnight just around the corner. The club overlooking the marina in Portocervo in northeast Sardinia is never busier than September every second year, when the Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup is quickly followed by the Rolex Swan Cup, both attracting entries from all over the world. It's a spectacular but increasingly demanding 2 weeks, especially for sailors in both regattas.
Just look around that Portocervo scenery and the wind and the breeze and the rocks and the courses. Also life inshore, you know. What has changed? In the old days, people used to go to the Clipper bar and be there until late. Now everybody goes to bed at 10 o'clock.
With 41 race-ready yachts and crews already in attendance for the Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup, competition will be intense in all 6 classes, not least the Maxi 72 World Championship, contested by 6 of the fastest monohulls anywhere on the planet. But more classic than cutting edge are 3 entries in the Super Maxi class that look like stealing the show. Topaz, Sphere and Velshida are J-class yachts, those built by ambitious owners in pursuit of the America's Cup in the 1920s and 30s. While Velshida dates back to 1933, her rivals have both been built from original plans in the last 4 years, the largest of which, at 143 feet, is Tom Siebel's Sphere.
To helm a J-class yacht is just one of the magnificent experiences in sailing. It's grand, it's beautiful, it's historic. It's really a remarkable and, I would say, emotional experience.
Svea is basically the last design that was made before the war. It was a hand-drawn lines plan. Port and starboard were not symmetrical. The shear line didn't really fare. There were lots of things that we had to do. I always joke that it's more work to design a J from an existing design and start from scratch.
In the J-class, we have 3 exceptionally well-sailed yachts in hand-to-hand combat on the water. I expect the difference between first and second place at the end of the day will be in seconds.
The outcome of the Maxi 72 World Championship looks more clear-cut. 3 days into the defense of their title, with 2 windward-lured races and 2 coastal courses already completed, Dieter Schoen's crew on Momo remain unbeaten. A new mast is one of several upgrades, and she leaves the dock fully optimized, supported by a performance review system deployed the moment she returns.
As soon as we dock the boat, I go down below and extract all the data of the day, how many meters we lose in attack, how many meters we lose in a jibe. Also, we have a coach, and while I'm doing my work on the data, he's collecting all the videos and all the evidence on what he has seen on the water. He put his video together with the drone footage that we get.
It's important to have a feedback from outside and to see if there is any big difference compared to the other boats. In this moment, we are the fastest and the better trained, but of course we have to keep the eyes open. I know my target time is 7:30 because we have the debriefing has to be sharp on time. So we go quickly into the sail shape of today.
We want to reassemble the sailors together after sailing. If we win together, we win together. If we have a bad day, we lose together. The whole team is proud what we achieved, so we are very happy all together.
Momo's only realistic challenger is Cannonball, owned by Dario Ferrari, an art collector and chess fanatic not afraid to make bold tactical moves.
As many people take too long to decide, and chess obliges you to take your decision. chess, you have to analyze the problem, take the strategy. The same thing you have to do on a board, because in reality you have so many options. You have to pick up the best one.
Taking advantage of a rare Momo error, Ferrari's crew notched their first win in the penultimate race. But it's not enough to prevent the German boat from claiming their second Maxi 72 world title. Momo's is not the only dominant performance. In the Wally class, where the three Centos are expected to hold sway, Lyra, a Wally 77, takes the event by storm. It's a debut to remember for owner Terry Hui in his first ever regatta. In the smaller of the mini-maxi classes, it's proving a great week too for Roberto Lacorte's crew on Super Nica, who win 4 out of 6 races. A performance bettered only by Riccardo Di Michelis on H2O in Mini Maxi 2, who win all 6. In the Maxi category that also sees George David's Rambler 88 charging round the archipelago, it's Massimiliano Florio's Grande Orazio that is heading for the title. Podium places in the Super Maxi class are all held by the J-class yachts. With up to 35 sailors on board, their final placings may well depend on their coordination and crew work on the final day of racing.
Go, go, go. The racing here.
Communication is very important. There's a lot of guys on board doing a lot of different things, and they can't always be looking in every direction.
We all came from small boats, and we like to be able to talk to each other and make plans during the racetrack. Then we thought, well, how are we going to be able to get these manoeuvres happening on a 40-metre boat as if we're on a 10-metre boat?
As a solution, Velshita's crew were one of the first to adopt a radio headset system, focusing on 3 main lines of communication.
Hold all the way forward, down.
The first links helmsman Ronald Duval, navigator Campbell Field, and tactician Tom Dodson, who provide the strategic direction.
Start bringing it down now. Looks like you've got some current helping you here.
The second loop connects the helmsman with the trimmers, responsible for much of the yacht's speed, through mainsheet trimmer Don Cowie.
Okay, he wants to soak it a little lower, guys. Just go 170.
The third links the afterguard with crew boss Justin Kluwer on the foredeck, who coordinates the team ahead of each manoeuvre.
And stand by. Ease brace. Ryan, get the sheet on.
The information's constantly getting fed, but you don't want constant chatter going back. So we have an open mic going forward and a push-to-talk coming back.
So the other halyard's at the top of the rig.
The boats have so much history, but they're still real Grand Prix thoroughbred boats. Every day that I'm sailing it, I have to just remind myself that I'm one of the luckiest guys out here.
In competition, every bit as close and exciting as predicted, Velshita and her crew take the last race of a gripping series. But after outstanding performances all week, and by holding off Sphere on the run to the line, it's Topaz that wins the Super Maxi class and the 3-way J-class joust by a single point.
It's pretty impressive that the boats stay so closely locked together. I think it's a testament to the talent on board each team. Velshita is a benchmark for all of us, and when you can take down bigger teams and faster boats, those victories are the sweetest.
At the conclusion of another memorable Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup, Peter Holmberg is among the winning crews stepping forward to receive their prizes on the Piazza Azzurra. The last awarded goes to Momo's Dieter Schoen after his crew's near-perfect performance in defense of their Maxi 72 world title. The waters off Sardinia, locals maintain, conceal many hidden secrets. But thanks to a retired diving supervisor from Genoa, one of them has recently come to light. In late December 1942, P311, a sister ship of this T-class Royal Navy submarine led by Commander Richard Cayley, left Malta carrying Chariot-manned torpedoes. Her orders were to attack 2 Italian cruisers, the Gorizia and the Trieste, at anchor in the harbour at La Maddalena. But for a final signal on December the 31st, she and the 71 members of her crew were never heard from again. After consulting numerous sources, including the accounts of fishermen reporting a loud explosion coming from a minefield east of Tavolara, the limestone massif a few nautical miles south of today's racetrack, Massimo Bondone made a startling discovery.
Non ho fatto altro che ammirare lo spettacolo sapendo che ero la prima persona che lo vedeva dopo più di 70 anni. Il tempo non ci aveva aiutato nella ricerca, i soldi stavano finendo e eravamo all'ultima immersione.
Within a week of news of his discovery being published, Bondone had been contacted by relatives of P311's crew who still had letters their loved ones had written.
E soprattutto i discendenti, i loro parenti sanno dove stanno i loro cari. È un mix di sensazioni strano perché da un lato c'è la tristezza per quello che è successo e dall'altro c'è la soddisfazione per aver raggiunto un risultato. Sopra tutto questo c'è comunque un grande rispetto per tutti quelli che hanno sacrificato la loro vita sotto tutte le bandiere.
Staged biennially since the early 1980s, the Rolex Swan Cup has become a permanent fixture in the schedules of Swan owners from all over the world. When the Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup fleet departs, they and the distinctive boats return to Porto Cervo like exotic migratory birds.
The 20th edition really proves the success of this event. More than 110 boats, 17 nations, and more than 2,000 sailors is incredible. We have 2 World Championships going on. We have a European Championship with the Club Swan 42s. At the same time, we have Maxi Fleet, the Grand Prix, and the Sparkman and Stevens. But what makes all the same is the passion for sailing and the passion for Swan.
For one competitor, though, the Rolex Swan Cup will be entirely new. A dinghy sailor from Wexford, Quiver Cotter, has swapped the Emerald Isle for the Costa Smeralda in search of big boat experience.
What I'm looking forward to most is being on that start line. Big boat sailing is just a whole other world to dinghy stuff, and I just can't wait to be on the water.
It's not just the sunshine that provides a contrast to sailing at home, it's the sheer scale.
Where I'm from in Westford, we have like one little pontoon. It's so exciting, just to know that like you're going to be racing against all these people.
After posting her details on the event website, she's been offered a place on the crew of Asaha. Helle Krunig's Swan 42, lining up alongside 21 other boats in the Grand Prix class in what will be a challenging big boat debut. In the Club Swan 50 class, meanwhile, there's a world title at stake.
The racing will be very tight. You can basically not afford to have a bad result because the other guys are so good.
The standard is just getting better and better all the time. For a one-design fleet, this is as good as it is.
One little mistake, you can lose half a boat leg. So you have to focus all the time.
This is exactly what we're after as sailors. When you beat a boat by 1 metre, you deserved it.
3 days into their inaugural World Championship, the Club Swan 50 fleet is as tightly bunched as predicted. After 7 races on windward leeward courses, Stefan Heidenreich's one group leads the 12-boat field. Just behind them is the Swiss contender Morten Kieland's Mathilde. Alongside them in joint second place is Cuor de Leone, her owner still coming to terms with the intensity of the competition.
Quite impressive how much tension and the competition was going on.
With world-class talent recruited throughout the fleet, the Club Swan 50s create a stunning spectacle. A coastal course and 2 further windward-leeward races still to come. Not for the first time, it's the Sparkman and Stevens class that attracts most entries, including no fewer than 10 Swan 65s. The yacht that won the first Whitbread round-the-world race and established Nautor's Swan's reputation for speed, comfort and style. Only 41 yachts were produced, making the 6 ketches and 3 sloops gathering at Capoferro one memorable morning, the largest fleet of 65s ever assembled.
To see 9 Swan 65s sailing together in synchronisation was really quite something. I've always hankered after a 65, especially a 65 sloop. I mean, these are beautiful boats.
I actually saw one of these boats in 1973, and I thought if I ever could afford it, that would be the boat I would have. They sail fast, and they turn heads, which, you know, again, I think is lovely when people notice a beautiful boat and appreciate it.
Second in the 77-78 Whitbread race, King's Legend and her current owners began another lap of the globe shortly after attending the Rolex Swan Cup in 2014.
We decided to take a sabbatical on the yacht, just for the 2 of us. And that was so nice, because you can decide your own pace, and we were totally alone on the world.
More than 40 years after she was built to Sparkman and Stevens' celebrated design, King's Legend and her owners have reverted from cruising mode to race mode. Their competitive instincts reawakened once again.
We live on this boat, we cruise on this boat, and we race on this boat. It's all possible.
Indeed, 65s hold the top 5 positions in the Sparkman and Stevens class, with Sherlaff and 6 Jaguar engaged in a familiar dispute for the lead. Restricted so far to windward-leeward racing, the Swan 1 design classes enjoy a change of scenery on the penultimate day, joining the 3 other fleets on a 34 nautical mile coastal course encompassing the islands of Spargi, Piana and the best the Maddalena archipelago has to offer. The Club Swan 50s revel in the stronger breeze, streaming through the channel at Capoferro together. One group again moves untroubled to the front. The German yacht increases its advantage on the downwind leg, dropping Russian entry Bremenezets and the yacht placed second overall Mathilde on the way to the distinctive Monachi turning mark, a lead she never loses. In the Swan 45 class, Eleanor Nova is locked in a compelling battle with defending champion Poron 9, sailing within inches of each other and potential disaster at Monachi. Eleanor Nova wins, but Poron 9's 3rd place keeps them at the top of the standings. It's the European title at stake in the Swan 42 class. Multiple former winner Natalia takes the coastal race, but Italian rivals Mela take 3rd to retain their lead overall. Azahar may not have made quite the same impact in the Grand Prix class, but it's still been a memorable week for one of her new crew members.
It's amazing. It's sort of like a big international sailing community. It's just so great to be a part of that. Coming from a background where there is only dinghy sailing, it's very hard to get into the big boat scene, and it's just unreal.
Cueva was very clever, she knows a lot, and she moves very fast, so it's what I need on the boat, because we are veterans, and we need young people helping us, and it worked.
Now that I've got my foot in the door, I'm here. I just want to keep at it. I've got a taste for it now, and I can sense that it's going to be a bit of an addiction, because this has been honestly just a dream.
Ambitions elsewhere in the regatta are proving more elusive. 6 points clear on the final day of the Club Swan 50 World Championship, Stefan Heidenreich's One Group squander their lead in a disastrous first race. Rivals Quadrileone and Mathilde quickly capitalise, muscling their way in at the first mark and finishing first and second to leave things delicately poised.
I certainly didn't expect to have 3 boats all on equal points going to the last race. That was pretty exceptional.
It was all on, you know, we were all tight. And we're like, hey guys, let's just enjoy this. And we got a terrible start. We got going the way we wanted to go, and the other 2 went hard the other way.
Right at the last kind of dying moments, the right kind of came strong, and we all came together with the top mark in one massive group. So it was quite a kerfuffle, to be honest. And out of that one group just kind of slipped out in front.
We sort of managed to control them for the race. Coming into the finish, just managed to sail through their gas and beat them by 1 boat length. That's all you need.
It makes for great racing. If you make a mistake, you lose. You do something well, you win, and that's all as a competitive sailor you could ask for.
It's pretty tense in the other One Design fleets. Andrea Rossi's team on Mela survive a protest en route to claiming the Club Swan 42 Championship. The same experience endured by Poron 9 before they can celebrate their 2nd world title in the Club Swan 45s. It also takes a while to separate 6 Jaguar and Sherlock, who finished seconds apart in the Sparkman and Stevens class. The issue eventually settled in favour of Tony Ball's crew.
Well done, everybody!
There's a more comfortable win in the Maxis for Police Play, while Saltaire edges rivals Crillier in the Grand Prix class, despite the latter's win on the final day.
Winner in the Club Swan 50 class is One Group.
At the prize giving, there's a warm response for Stefan Heidenreich as he receives the inaugural Club Swan 50 world title. Before all the victorious skippers step forward to receive their share of the Rolex Swan Cup, still loved and admired in its 20th edition. Next time on The Spirit of Yachting, we head for Les Voiles de Saint-Tropez, where classic yachts enjoy their place in the sun.